Okay, welcome back to part 15 of our Subaru car modeling techniques revisited video series. Today we're going to deal with sanding back and polishing our clear coat. Now, I had all the intentions of sanding back and polishing this clear coat, but as you can see by this video, when I did it, this is literally the best 2K job I've ever done. It is almost flawless throughout. I've got a tiny little speck of dust on the roof. There's no orange peel, there's no imperfections. It is nigh on, for want of a better word, perfect. And I just couldn't come to sanding it back and polishing it up because it wouldn't have got any better. So we're going to leave this as is, and we're going to use some old footage of a Ferrari 458 I made beginning of the year, which is in black, which actually shows the polishing process better anyway. And this is old footage, so it's going to probably refer back to different things, or it may mention different times or whatnot. But essentially, it's exactly the way I am polishing things to this day. So we've got the 3M Tricer pads, which we sell over on ProScale. We've got 3, 6, and 8,000 grits. I'd only use a 3,000 if you really need to, if you've got massive flaws in the paint, dust, hairs, whatever. I tend to use a 6 and 8 most of the time. We've got the polishing pads from Zoom which we sell over on ProScale as well. Now, I have used the cheaper ones. They do work. They do not last anywhere near as long as the Zoom ones, and they also tend to fly off the polishing wheel, so they're a bit of a nightmare. I'm going to use Menzerna compounds, 2500, 3500, and the Autoclim Super Resin Polish as an end. So we use the coarser green sponge for the 2500 Menzerna, the medium blue sponge for the 3500, and the red softer sponge for the Autoclim Super Resin Polish. So we're going to jump into the video, get started, and show how we do things. The only thing I've changed is I don't dip the 3M pads in the water anymore. Reading up on the specifications, I now use a spray bottle mixed with some washing up liquid, Dawn dish soap, wherever you use in your country, mixed with water, and I spray that on the model instead. It makes the pads last longer, and it seems to allow the pads to cut better as well. Other than that, it's basically the same, using my Proxon tool with the Zoom On pads. So let's get into the video and crack on now. Right, bodywork time. It's been a week. I've patiently waited over the weekend. It's a week since we cleared it in the first video. We've got a little bit of washing up liquid and some fresh water. We're going to mix that together so we get a bit of a mix. We've got our 3M Tricer pads, which we are wringing out and getting full of nice soapy water. We've got the 3, 6, and 8,000 pads. And what we're going to do is we're going to flat back all the bodywork. Now, I'm going to go a little bit in depth for this, so hopefully I don't bore you too much. Because I know a lot of people are asking about this in a minute, about the polishing techniques. And this is quite new to me. This step isn't, because I do this all the time. But the polishing techniques with the rotary tool and the new compounds is a little bit different. So I'm going to run through it. I did it on the Porsche, and I'm going to do it on this one. And hopefully we can get a standalone video out of this as well to release too. Whether it be a Patreon exclusive, I'm not sure. But I think it will be going forward, definitely. So we're starting off with a 3000 grit. We're going to go around the whole body and just lightly take back the clear coat. Now what we're trying to do is, any dust spots, which there is only a couple of on this car, we're going to flatten back gradually with each progressive grade of 3M Tricer pad. We're also going to flat back to 2K. And what that'll do is, it'll make it look less thick, which luckily ours doesn't look too thick out the airbrush anyway. And it'll flat it back to a much flatter finish. And when we polish it up, we'll get an absolutely beautiful black, shiny body. So, like I said, we go with the 3, the 6, then the 8, drying it off in between, checking imperfections, repeating if necessary, going back to the appropriate grit if needed. Just take your time here. Be careful you don't burn through any edges, and just be careful of where you're sanding. Any raised or edges, the paint's always thinner, and it's very, very easy to burn through. Luckily we didn't burn through a single bit of paint on this, and obviously on this car, because the windscreen surround, be aware of what you're doing. Do not drop that body, because that windscreen surround will snap in a heartbeat. So we're going to dry the body off with some clean kitchen paper, and you're looking for all the areas that are flatted. Any areas where you had dust or imperfections should be gone now. And there we go, and then we can move on to the 6000, the next step up, and repeat that process. So just take your time here, don't rush it. Keep it well lubricated, keep that sander nice and lubricated as you're sanding. So we've got some Menzerna. This is the 3,500 medium cut. Now we're using our rotary tool with the compound sponges, so I need something with a little bit more oomph to it. If you get a hand polish, I'd highly recommend the UMP polish system. That's what I've used over the years. But for doing it by machine like this, I think the Monte compounds are just a bit more aggressive and help a little bit more. So I put a generous amount on all the body, and I'm just smoothing it in with my fingers. And I'm doing this for one reason, really, so I don't get flicked and covered in compound. So I didn't wipe that on my leg. Definitely didn't. So we've got the blue medium compound sponge in here. You can get this set off Amazon. They're about £12. They're really good. I'll update my list and add it to it. And using the second speed on this drill, which is very low power, we're just going to gently go around the whole body. First off with this coarse compound with the medium compound sponge, and then we'll come back with the fine sponge and the finishing compound from Monte, and then we'll come back with some Autoglym Super Resin polish and another fine pad and give it a nice fine polish up at the end. And this thing looks absolutely fantastic when it's done. So again, be aware of any edges where the paint's always thinner. You don't want to burn through, and it's easily done. Thankfully, we had no damage whatsoever. Don't press too hard with the sponge because it just flattens out totally. And my tip would be, if you do buy this set from Amazon, you see the end of mine is black. It should be yellow. It has quite sharp bits on it, so I put some electrical tape around just to protect it in case I touch the body. But this is a super fast way of polishing the body up. I've always kind of sworn away from this and always hand polished, but this is a game changer. This is an absolute game changer. The combination of the compound polishing pads and the compounds themselves from Monte, they work really well as a machine polish. But like I say, if you're doing it by hand, use the UMP stuff. UMP polish system is fantastic. It's very, very forgiving. But like I say, sadly, it just doesn't have the cutting power of this to use with a rotary tool. So there we go. And obviously, if you're using your own compounds, wherever you use, just do it in your own way. And if you want to try these sponges, and if you already do, let me know in the comments what you think. But for me, second body doing them, and it's worked absolutely fantastic. It really has. Great result. So there we go. Once that section's done, we've got a clean bit of old t-shirt material. And we're going to just wipe it all down, get rid of all the excess compound. And even just off this single stage medium cut polish, we've got a fantastic shine back already. Really is absolutely beautiful. And it's only going to get better with each subsequent polish we do. And again, we move on to the sides and just work our way around the body nice and slowly. Being methodical, being careful and gentle. And like I say, don't compress that sponge too much. Let it float. Because all it does, it just flattens out and you end up touching the actual holder to the body, which we don't want to do. So there's a fine line between pressing it too hard and obviously not enough. So you can figure out once you use it. But just be careful. There's lots of little bumps and recesses on this. So I've got to be especially careful. But yeah, great little set. Works really well for the money. So this little battery powered drill, again, a great tool from Amazon. Sadly, my battery dried. I had to go to my Proxon, but luckily the Proxon lowest speed matches the medium speed on this one. So it was perfect. So as long as you've got a lower power tool, I wouldn't use like a 10,000 RPM Dremel. Make sure it's a nice low RPM. These Herzo tools you can still get on Amazon. They are brilliant little drills and absolutely perfect for this polishing job. Absolutely perfect for this. Like I say, just take your time, work your way around systematically. Just be careful of those edges. And again, once you've done that section, get your cloth and give it a good clean up. Get all the excess polish off, compound off. And there we go. Right, so we're switching pads. So we've taken the blue one off and we're going to a red, pinky, fine one. There we go. And then we've got some of the polish now from Monte. And we're just going to go over it again with the fine pad with the less aggressive compound this time. And again, just take your time. There's definitely a difference in the softness to this. You can feel the difference when you're polishing. There is a heavy one in there. There's a heavy, medium, and a fine in the set. I didn't opt for using the heavy, but I might do next time. I might use the heavy on the first compound, the medium blue on the second one, and this on the third. We'll see. I'll see how it goes, but this system works really well. Like I say, just be systematic. Go around, just be careful. Don't be burning through anywhere. Just take your time building it up. On parts like this, the bottom especially, very easy to burn through that thin paint. So just take your time. So like I say, preparation is key. All those steps we took in the painting process have paid off absolutely perfectly here. We've got beautiful paintwork, beautiful 2K, very little dust to clean up in the bodywork because obviously we do prep work in the room as well. And that saves us time here now as well. So those little key points we did earlier make it easier in the long run. So again, clean bit of tissue, t-shirt material, sorry. We'll wipe off that polish. And again, beautiful shine, absolutely gleaming. Yep, looks absolutely phenomenal. There we go. So after the rest of the car is done with the second stage, we're going to move on to the super resin polish. Now, sadly, they didn't have a bigger bottle. They only had this litre one, so I got it. I am joking, of course. I'm just going to apply a small amount, or a rather big amount, to my finger and just rub it in. Again, put it in all the areas you're going to sand. I do section by section. I do the front, the rear, then the sides. And I'm putting the polish on here so it doesn't flick everywhere off the tool. So just rub it in, and then get our fresh, fine pad. This is a different one again than we had before. And again, we just go round and polish it up to a nice finish. So this is a very gentle polish now, the Autoglym. And this will give us our final shine. So we're just going to whiz it around. Getting all those nooks and crannies, all those angles. Like I say, sadly, it was about this point my battery drill decided to die. So we switched over to the Proxon, which has a foot control pedal, which makes life a little bit easier, actually. And although the tool itself is a little bit more unwieldy, it did the job perfect. So either or will do. Yeah, it did the job absolutely fantastic. So there we go. Like I say, just be careful of Dremels, because a lot of Dremels only go down to like 5,000, 10,000 RPM, and it's a little bit too much for doing this. And there we go, final polish up. Look at that shine. Beautiful. There we go, just the rest of the car to do. And we're all done. So yeah, this is definitely working out well. Definitely convert to polishing the cars like this. I've kind of shied away from it in the past, but I think for me, this is the definite way going forward. The combination of the sponges and the compounds, yeah, makes it so much quicker, and obviously time saved. Yeah, it's a definite bonus, and I think it gives a better result as well. So yeah, we're just going to work our way around the entire body, just nice and slow. Like I said, it's a lot less abrasive, the Autoglym polish, and also has microfilling capabilities as well, although they are only temporary. So if you do have a less than perfect finished body, or even real car in real life, it will make it look a little bit better. So yeah, just take our time here. Like I said, the Proxon works well. It's about match for RPM with the second speed on the small tool, but it's just a bit more unwieldy. I know you can get a shaft for it. I don't think the shaft would be that much better. Possibly it might be. I think the little Hairzo drill is the way to go. I just need to make sure it's charged. Obviously, it's getting used a lot more for polishing than when it's just being used as a drill occasionally. So yeah, either way will work well. Just make sure the RPM isn't too high. And there we go. Polish that bit off, and just look at that. Absolutely stunning. I am so happy with the black on this car. I was kind of worried through that, I wasn't going to go finish, but the depth of black, it just looks absolutely phenomenal. And then the final two pieces are the two doors and the windscreen surround. Of course, we're doing all the mirrors and those side pods as well, on each compound. I've just not showed it in the video just to save a bit of time, but they are getting done with each application. Like I say, yeah, polished up to a nice high shine black. So like I say, I think the main thing to stress here is just be careful of those edges. The paint is always going to be thinner on an edge or a raised bit of surface. So like where that door crease is at the bottom, where it goes over, don't spend too much time over that piece. Stick to the flat piece. And you'll be just fine. And obviously, when using the tool, watch the rotary head on any other parts because it will take paint off. But I think after a couple of goes of this, you'll get the hang of it. I certainly have, and I think you'll definitely see how much more beneficial it is polishing this way than doing it by hand. So let's see if we get any fellow converts like myself. Like I say, if you've already got this set or using one similar, let me know. Let me know your results. Are you happy with it? Is there anything you change? These Menzerna compounds are well and truly worth a go. They're very good, although they're not cheap. I think I spent about £50 on the compounds and the polish. So definitely an investment. But like I say, saying that, over the years I've had great finishes with the UMP polish system by hand. I just think for me, this is the way going forward for me. I'll be polishing my cars in future. So there we go. Now, we get to do the fun bit in a minute. Because our 2K is nice and thin, your panel lines don't get filled, so they inherently hold a bit of polish and compounds in there. So once we've buffed it all up, beautiful shine, look at that, absolutely fantastic. We're going to take it to the spray booth and give it a little bit of a jet wash. So turn up pressure to about 30 psi on the airbrush, a little bit of fresh water, and we'll jet wash all the remnants of the compounds and polishes out. And like I say, just the final step here, doing the wing mirrors and the little side pods. I've done this for each stage. They've been sanded as well. And every single one has been polished up. Just be careful that the parts don't get snagged on the sponge and fling them off into oblivion. And there we go. Like I say, load up your airbrush with water. Make sure it's airbrush and make sure you clean out any lacquer or anything in the airbrush first. If I've had lacquer in the airbrush, which this one has had, I get rid of the lacquer, clean it out. I then put some UMP airbrush cleaner in, alcohol-based cleaner, to clean that out, and then empty that, and then put some fresh water in and blow that through before I go to the water. And literally, all we're doing is jet washing the polish out the panel line. So I find if you go around once and jet wash it all, it softens everything up, and the second pass round will really get rid of everything. You might need to use a toothbrush as well, but this is a very efficient way of removing polish from the panel lines. It works really, really well. And then once we're done, we can dry it all off. Oh, my voice went all funny then. All off. You can dry it all off and then give it a good polish up with our microfiber glasses cleaning cloth. And see just how beautiful of a gloss black body shell we have here. It looks absolutely stunning. Right, with all the polishing and sanding done, we are here. This is the finished article of that Ferrari 458. And you can see just how effective, not only is the ProScale 2K clear, which is by far the easiest I've used, the sanding back with the 3M Tri-Zip pads and the polishing up with the Menzerna, especially on the zoom on polishing pads, it's an absolute game changer in refinishing these models. Now, while it's not our original Subaru subject, you can see the effect and how it's done, and it's a step well worth doing. Obviously, going forward, if it's something you don't want to do, like I chose to on the Subaru, and you're happy with the finish you've got, leave it be. You don't have to sand and polish, you have to remember this, but I will tell you now, it will nigh on 90% of the time always look better. Unless you've got a good 2K job like this, you will thin out the 2K, which I was lucky. This looked absolutely beautiful. It got rid of imperfections, any dust spots, hairs that I've landed in there, and it'll bring back any shine that you've lost due to handling or sanding and what have you. But obviously, that choice is yours, and that's for you to decide. I'd highly recommend the 3M Tri-Zip pads. They are very efficient sanding pads. The Menzerna compounds are epically good, and the Zoom On polishing pads are an absolute game changer and much better quality than the cheaper ones out there. I've used both, and the Zoom Ons last 4 or 5 times longer easily, and they're cheaper to buy. So that would be my votes. But there we go. There's another part done. We'll be back very soon. We're getting to the end of this build now. Thanks for watching. If you want early access on these videos, you come with patrons. The link down below. Loads of perks becoming a patron. Links down below to everything else associated with me. And as always, leave a comment and give us a thumbs up. And a huge thanks to all my patrons whose names are up on screen right now. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.